Hello, good morning. It's Sunday again, and I recorded this yesterday after the rainy sessions we did the day before. We are going to do a small ride to a place called ijselstein. We're going to a small harbor in the area. It's going to be about a 25-kilometer ride. And in a way, this is probably the first video that I'm happy with in the audio and in the video that I've made. Simply the quality. I'm not saying that it's the best ride ever, but it's one that I think I got everything now under control to make these types of videos. So if you're in the Netherlands and you want to go to this place, it's probably a place where you can maybe rent a small boat and go from there onto the IJssel, which is one of the small rivers that you can use to access many of the other waterways. I don't think we have been much to this side of the long 7-kilometer road. We mostly go to the other side, but here you can see one of the parks in the neighborhood with 3 big hills, and on top of them you see on one of them there's this iron ring thingy. I will make it bigger so that you can see it, and there actually swings on top of it, so you can go on top and go on the swings and you feel like you're like 25 kilometers high because you're way up in the sky. And as you can see, we are going through the park. Because first we have to get out of the city. So also on this ride we are starting out in quite a windy day, but still dry. It was supposed to stay dry, but we got rain again. And it was also extremely windy. So when I say that I'm happy with this video now, that means that I found a good place to put the microphone. Although I'm now checking if it's not falling off. I didn't fully trust it yet, so I'm now getting off, checking if the microphone is indeed not getting lost. By now I'm convinced it's in a stable situation. But I'm quite happy with the sound in that we hear environment sound way better, and I'm not doing the voice during the bicycling anymore. I think that was a bad idea, so I will do it after the fact. Because as somebody remarked, and I think rightly so, for me the bike ride has to be about me relaxing. So just turning the video on and the microphone on and then totally focus on the ride itself is important to me. And you can't really do that when you're also trying to put comments on there. So for the audio, the goal now is not to make it totally perfect, because we will hear quite a lot of wind noise. But that's because it's very windy, if that makes sense. You can see the trees. It will get stormy later on. So this is what they call a bicycle road. So cars are guests. That's what the sign said. And I'm getting off the bike in a few seconds to cross the water. Because the bridge is so small that it's not really meant to be to bike on, and I don't want to hit the side of the bridge and fall over, so I get off. You also at times now hear me braking because it was raining before, and if the brakes get wet they are a bit noisy. I did about 9,000 kilometers now on this bike this year, so it's going in for maintenance in a few weeks. And maybe this is normal for Dutch people, but I own multiple bikes, and one of the bike shops of one of my bikes is coming up pretty close on this road. So we are going through an industry area. You can already see on the flags that it's quite windy. And as you can see, this road kind of leads us out of the city. On the bottom part of Utrecht, to be fair. So in a while we actually hear a car honking. I'm not sure what was up, but I didn't hear that when I was biking, because there's of course also a lot of wind noise around your head, if that makes sense. So I only heard it when I was watching the video. This is the bike shop I was talking about. We just passed it. It's really big, so they are in this industry area. You can hear the wind whistling of the trees. Did you hear the honking? So something happened with this car and this moped. I'm not sure what. And you see that quite a lot in the Netherlands. There's a water area next. If you see the 3D, the helicopter view, I will try to call it a helicopter view in the future. You also see bus stops here, right? So people, if they work here, there's still not only the bike, but also the public transport is quite doable to get to different places and yeah, get to work. I would almost say that if you're from the States, this is like a shopping mall area, but not for shopping, but for warehouses. So it's more attached to the city and not like 20 or 30 miles away. So in a way it's easier to get there. Going under the main highway. I don't drive a car, but I think this is the A12. As you can see, it's like 6 lanes or 8 lanes. And I find this quite interesting because it's very windy now, and I do hear the cars a little bit, but the way that they put this sound barrier there, it almost looks like there's no road here. So that gives you quite a good feeling about nature. So we see cows and horses and sheep on this road, but we don't notice that we are actually quite close to quite a busy highway. So further along they don't put a sound barrier there anymore, and you can see that we are actually next to the quite a busy road. It was not empty. It looks empty on the helicopter view, but in reality it was not empty. And here you start hearing the wind noise more and more. But look at the trees, and especially the grass and the leaves. It's very windy. And so in the next 5 minutes you see me going from the left to the right a little bit at times, because actually the bike is being pushed over by the wind. So I had to correct quite often here. So if you would be in a car, you will definitely feel the wind pushing the car, and in this case it's pushing my bike over. And there you can see the road popping up, and you can see for a Saturday it was quite busy. It was Saturday around 3 o'clock. So there are also cars on this road, so we are going to pass a car, and it looks quite dangerous. But remember, the camera makes it show way closer than it actually is. But this driver is quite nice. But you can see how much difference it just makes if they put like a earth-based barrier there. So that's a big dog, and after that big horses. That was a big dog. But you can see there are horses here, and sheep, and cars. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lanes or 10 lanes. The car wanted to pass the bicycle, but he saw me, so he's holding back to give me space. And it still looked like it would stay dry, but we see already an ominous sort of cloud popping up. And I already got a bad feeling about it, like, no, it's going to happen again, it's going to rain. They promised me it wouldn't start raining. Still quite a sunny day. Even today I'm using a baseball cap to keep the sun out of my eyes. Still quite windy. The wind is picking up more and more, and we can see the grass leaves is a good indication, because the trees almost look that they're not moving, because the wind was quite continuous, so they're bending but not moving much. But if you look at the grass, you can see that it's clearly blowing quite hard. I kind of figured that the rain would stay away, but it's going to start raining pretty soon. In the helicopter view, you can see we are following this small road, and you see quite a few farms. So even though we are a very populated country, densely populated, and here is the rain, I think it's still about 3 or 5% of it is roads or buildings. The rest is still countryside. So. But now I'm getting kind of upset, because it looks that we have a rainy day again, and I might have to stop to get the microphone and some of the other stuff into a dry area. But unlike yesterday, I gambled that it would stop raining, and it actually did. So, and I'm also guessing that everybody on the bike, you can see they're all speeding up in the hope to get away from the rain. You can see that I'm actually going left and right and kind of being pushed by the wind. See, I go oops to the and I have to sort of steer back. And we talked about this before. As a kid, if you have to go to school over one of these roads, you would not be happy, especially if it's like 10 degrees colder. You would be in a bad mood. But as they say in the Netherlands, you're not made of sugar if it's raining. But I'm not of the opinion like younger kids should be tougher. I think in the future having e-bikes to help them, let's say, smoothen the rides is totally fine with me. I don't like the e-bikes that you only have a gas pedal or throttle. I prefer the ones that help you bike and not take over the bike, because then it's like a motorcycle, and I don't think that's the best way. So more and more raindrops falling. I'm surprised that we didn't see a rainbow, because we have sun, we have rain. It would have been nice if we saw a rainbow. But here I'm going to the left, which is good news, so I can clean the lens. And also I had a gut feeling that it would be coming quite quickly, quite dry. And it actually happened within seconds. So. Yep, cleaning the camera. He was pretty close, not dangerously, but I'm like, hey, so I would argue that these types of road can be the most, and I'm doing air quotes, dangerous in the Netherlands. Not because I think most drivers are driving in a dangerous way, but like in any country, because CEDs are going to give you extra space, so they're going over the other side. But let's say 1 in 100 cars are, let's say, more aggressive. So I think this is probably a 60-kilometer road, which in my opinion is too high, but there are always people who go way faster, and then of course it becomes more dangerous. And this is also probably, and not like in the inner city, with all the bikes going left and right, that I would not say nobody gets into an accident, but I would say most serious accidents and deadly accidents happens probably on roads like this. So with all the biking that we have, last year there were 207 deaths on bicycles in the Netherlands, which is not great, but yeah, people get hurt in traffic. And that's the downside of cars. I'm not a car hater. I'm actually a trained car mechanic. But in the end of the day, there are like 2,000 pounds or 3,000 pound or 4,000 pound vehicles, and yeah, they hurt you if you get hit by them. And we are almost to where we wanted to go. On the IJssel. And we are going over a bicycle bridge, which is on our right here. And then I show around a little bit, because it was still quite windy, so I decided to go back quite quickly. So it was only a small ride today. But I might come back here when the weather is nice, and it's a nice spot I think to maybe hire a boat. And you can see going over a bridge. Lots of wind noise, and you see the dark cloud sort of hanging over there. It was actually in reality a little bit darker, but I changed it a little bit in the video. It's quite dark skies. So we end the video here, and I show a little bit around the small harbor, and there's a restaurant over there. Quite a lot of geese flying around. I think I showed the geese a bit. Yeah, there they are in the sky. So thank you, and see you next time. Bye bye.